number 75 of the 3 Count Out podcast. My name is Era. Joining me, as always, Jackal and Mike. We have a lot to talk about this week because WWE had a very busy Saturday with a lot, in true WWE fashion, a lot of controversy. So we have a lot to talk about. But before we jump into that, like, subscribe, leave a rating. We're a 5-star podcast, so, maybe drop 5 stars. And if you leave a comment and rating, we'll read it off on next week's episode. Last week, I was spooning with Jackal in the hot tub. This week, episode brought to you by Mike's Hard Lemonade. So thank you for that one, Mike.
Can confirm I am hard when I make it.
Well, it tastes like, let's see here. It tastes like cherry lime.
Ooh. You have no idea how many cherries I have to eat to make that happen.
It's very sweet.
You're lucky that my breasts are so small and humble that you don't confuse them for mountain. Hi, my name's Jackal. Cherry lime, you gotta consume the flavor that. So do you do cherry first or do you do lime first? Asking for a friend.
I actually I squeeze a lime into my mouth as I eat a cherry.
Oh, to get sort of the combined flavoring of the two.
Yeah, and then I have to shake like Shakira as it goes down.
What? Wait.
What?
Why are you shaking your ass to get a flavor in your stomach?
Is that the video that you sent me earlier?
So it gets all shaken up. So I combine well.
Oh, you're like a
shaken, not stirred.
Margarita shaker. Jesus Christ. Oh God, that makes so much more sense with the James Bond movie that I watched. That's why the bartender said, "Mark, Mr. Bond, let me break it down for you." And then he just jumped up on that counter and started throwing that dumpy around. Goodness gracious!
The name's Bond,
dog.
Shakira Bond.
Speaking of throwing dumpies around, women's wrestling this weekend, huh?
Oh my God! Hey, shout out to Conan for the only good line that he had on commentary all weekend was just while Stephanie Vaquera was doing that move, and he just went, "Why'd she stop?" That was the only. He had the fucking personality or the fucking enthusiasm of a wet paper bag. Goddamn, that was the only funny thing he said. Is he was just like, why'd she stop doing the move? Why?
Keep going, please. Daddy wants more.
To be fair, I forgot Conan's like 874.
Not young.
Yeah, he's been around.
Young.
He's been around.
And for those that are unaware of what we were talking about, as last week we discussed, it was NXT, AAA NXT Mexico combining together for the Worlds Collide event on Saturday afternoon, airing before Money in the Bank.
Yeah, and absolutely blowing Money in the Bank out of the water, honestly.
God damn, dude.
This was good.
Also caught all of us off guard. Also free.
Yeah, free on YouTube.
Really nice.
Listen, the only time I watch wrestling on YouTube is when it's AEW, and watching all that lucha and seeing a WWE banner on YouTube, I'm like, holy fuck, what am I watching right now? Like that, man. Oh boy, if we're getting more of that, we're gonna be eating good. If we can get that on YouTube for free, yes, please. I want AAA every week.
And looking at the view counter during it, because I had unfortunately a little bit too much free time on my hands during the pay-per-view, it was in the hundreds of thousands of people watching it constantly. I think the lowest it dropped to at any given point was maybe 250,000 people watching it. And YouTube ad revenue for that type of live stream, it'll cover the bills for the other missing people.
And WWE probably has a fucking special agreement too, so they're making more than we know. Absolutely.
Well, I think they said that in a 24-hour period or whatever, it was well over 4 million.
Oh, God. Absolutely.
Damn.
Oh,
my Lord.
Just think about how much money WWE is going to make by selling those fucking iguana puppets, because they're going to make bank doing that. Let me tell you, Mr. Iguana, I know when we were talking about him, we were like, I don't fucking know anything about him. There's no Wikipedia page, and his name is Mr. Iguana. 100% lived up to the hype. 1,000%. My partner, Dandy Dragons, that is their new favorite wrestler, Mr. Iguana. Mr. Iguana is taking over the internet by storm, and I absolutely love that. And apparently now he may be getting signed to NXT. So we may have Mr. Iguana in NXT. And if that's the case, I don't care if it's the North American Championship. I don't care if it's the fucking NXT Men's Championship. I don't care if they make a new fucking championship for him. Make the fucking Iguana title. Mr. Iguana needs some gold around his waist. Because then you get a little tiny belt for the little iguana.
That is an actual genius. Listen, I was so glad to be able to predict it, to see the future last week, to know it's like, I don't care about anybody else in this match. The only person I care about right now, Mr. Iguana, absolutely delivered. I love the look. If you haven't seen Worlds Collide, essentially think of like, for lack of a better word, a green gold dust, but with an iguana stuffed animal on his shoulder.
Yeah.
And one of the most acrobatic luchadors I have seen in quite some time. Really, really good. I was thoroughly entertained by all of it. I feel bad for the one AAA guy that went for an outside dive, and I think Lince Dorado didn't get up in time, and the fucker landed flat on his fucking back on the floor. But that match was great. Excellent start to it all, and I think that set up for a phenomenal day at Worlds Collide.
And also set up for a phenomenal match at Money in the Bank that we'll talk about later. But Octagon Jr. did get a... He did not challenge Dominic Mysterio, but Dominic Mysterio challenged him. So
we had a new side of Dom.
Yeah, we'll talk about that match when we go over Money in the Bank. But
yeah, normally he's hiding behind, Liv, and this time instead he was out front and center challenging Octagon Jr. It was cool to see. There's a little character change.
If I live in my corner, I'd be empowered to do anything to him. God damn.
Very fair.
That unfortunately makes one of us. I would probably be behind her every single chance I could get.
Absolutely, supporting her every step of the way. That's what you meant, right?
Of course.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Honest to God.
On my hands and knees, barking like a dog.
No, not at all.
We talked about, Stephanie Vaquera, speaking of hands and knees, barking like a dog. She did have a tag team match as well. Stephanie and Lola Vice going up against Chick Tormenta and Dallas. I think, honestly, this was kind of a weird one because, again, like, Stephanie's going up to the main roster and Lola's still in NXT, so why did they do it? But, oh boy, I know why they did it. That was a great match. And I think, honestly, the team of Stephanie and Lola is something that I want to see more. Because they both have, like, a really interesting, like, almost real fighting style, Like, they're some of those people that try to, like, train in other stuff outside of wrestling, so it kind of makes sense. Like, when they're kicking someone, it's like, no, it's Muay Thai shit. Like, it's actually like that. So I kind of like that pairing. But yeah, that was a good match. It was a good, nice little tag team match. Kind of helped people settle down after Mr. Iguana.
Well, you say settle down, but then they did the double move.
devil's kiss.
Everybody's fucking attention there.
One time for Booker T. Hi. Getting into it with Pat. The one thing I took away from this match is something that already you brought up, Era. I think the reason I liked it that much is because their movesets did feel extremely similar, and not even in like a negative connotation either. It kind of flowed well. It was a good introduction to the other two, AAA girls, and hopefully that these type of matches happening give me a lot of faith that the women's division is going to a much better place than it has been for the past calendar year. Because I know I said it as a joke talking about the bakery, but the women's wrestling this weekend was really, really fucking good.
Yeah, and I think, if you want to know the women's division to watch, Mariah May has showed up in NXT. She showed up after we recorded last week.
An hour after we wrapped up the fucking podcast.
Literally an hour.
Christ,
the one day we record on a Tuesday and they blow shit up during NXT. But I mean, her showing up in NXT and then all of these women from AAA that they're getting, like the talent that they've already signed at the beginning of the year. I mean, the WWE women's division is looking stacked. And like, for once, it's not like just filled with like objectified people. You know, like these are women that can actually fucking wrestle. People that aren't just there to be like, you know, objects.
It's not
like the women had to do that we're so far removed from the Attitude Era stuff, and like this is just evidence of that. This women's division would not have worked in the 90s. You know what I mean? Like that wouldn't have happened.
Oh hell no, they would have kicked him in the mouth. And
Yeah.
Again, I'm hesitant to be excited about Mariah May, who I don't think they actually said her name.
No, they have
remember.
not. Yeah, they have not called her Mariah May yet.
like
She's Mariah
glory
June,
or
I
something.
guess.
Unless you make her a violent lesbian
During Pride Month.
will she be successful?
I don't know.
Because I mean, in AEW, the reason she got to be where she is she went out and had some bloody ass homoerotic matches with Tony Storm over and over again, to the point where you're like, I'm mildly uncomfortable and turned on and confused. So
This is
I
a
mean,
weird feeling.
unless if they tone her down, it's really gonna water down who she is and not make it as impactful. But I mean, you're right. They're bringing Stephanie up to the main roster, which is her, Roxanne, and Julie all at the same time, adding a nice little injection of actual skill and talent and diversified movesets. And then you still have Jordan Grace, Mariah May, Lola, Jada Parker, Kalani, Sol Ruka, Zarya on NXT. So, I mean, as of right now, SmackDown and NXT are kind of where it's at. Raw is something.
Raw exists. Raw, listen,
Yeah, I mean,
Raw,
we
Raw is a solid third. Okay, you know they had to put in their work, but they've gotten there. You know, they got Rhea Ripley, they got Liv Morgan, they got other people. I guess Nia Jax is still technically on the Raw roster.
I thought she was on SmackDown.
She was feuding with Tiffany.
I don't know.
Oh,
Man.
well, that just goes to show you the
SmackDown
quality
has
of it.
Tiffany, Nia, Naomi, Jade, Charlotte's farting around somewhere, Alexa.
Yeah.
So
Raw's there though. It's
yeah, they are.
Hey,
it's there.
I could honestly tell you that, you know, the Raw women's mid card right now is better than the Raw women's main. As much as we hated the feud when it first started, after Saturday, I like it now a lot.
Yeah, that's true, and we'll get into that once we talk about Money in the Bank. But you know, I feel like this was a match. This next match was one that really benefited, in the sense of like these are people that normally don't get a lot of shine at all, and now they're actually getting put over on commentary, and they get to talk about like the heritage that their family has, and that's Legado del Fantasma, because Santos Escobar, Angel, and Berto are all like world-class legendary luchador families that just didn't matter in WWE. And now that AAA is there, they get all of that heritage back. And that's kind of what the 6-man tag match was, because they were going up against El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., Pagano, and Psycho Clown, which are all massive names in AAA. So this was like kind of all of the legacies fighting. It was really cool to actually hear good things be said about Legado del Fantasma, because I was talking to you guys in the group chat during this match, and I was like, man, I don't remember the last time they actually like got put over at all. And like in this match, they're like, oh, they're from a legendary family, they're a 3rd generation luchador. Like fucking Corey Graves was going in, and he was actually giving really, really, really high praise to Legado del Fantasma.
Yeah, real quick, can we applaud the fact that Corey Graves
absolutely? I was just about to say
fucking commentary.
Oh
thing.
yeah,
holy,
absolutely.
Yeah,
dude.
Conan didn't do shit. He was there for the history.
Okay,
he had great history and great tidbits, and I feel like he definitely helped put context on a lot of things. But God, it should have been a 3-man booth, because he was not there.
well, he was just so quiet.
Yeah, he needs to fucking project.
This match really showed how good Legado del Fantasma is, because I mean, the other 3 guys have actively been in AAA in lucha settings, and yet I think personally Legado del Fantasma looked better. Like, I think they were moving quicker, they were doing bigger, like they were doing more impressive stuff. I mean, you could tell, maybe it's just me, like when Dr. Wagner Jr. got in there too, like he was putting on a clinic with any of the members of Legado del Fantasma compared to the other guys. It was one of those interesting points where I was like, wow, you can tell they're back like in their natural habitat doing what they enjoy. And it's vastly different from when you see them just briefly on WWE TV.
Yeah, well, I mean, the whole thing was, blink and you're going to miss it, right? Like, it was so fast. And that's the difference between lucha and, like, American wrestling is you're not going to get a dude that's 6'5" and 240 moving that fast. But, when you're in that cruiserweight stuff, when you're doing lucha, you can move with people at that speed, and they can move with you.
Yeah, and they were.
I know I had brought it up last week to sort of a meh response, but I do feel firmly still in the belief that LWO, or not LWO, Legado should be there right now. I know they want a Hispanic, Latino presence on the main roster at the moment, but as of now, I could say that Andrade, Dom, and whenever you decide to get, old man Rey Mysterio back doing his thing, I would say that's good enough because, boy, oh boy, I've never heard an arena of people get that loud for Legado del Fantasma since, ever?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. That, I mean, in today's day where this is not like WWE and TNA where there's a partnership. They own AAA.
Exactly.
Like 100%. There's just going to be some people that just do better in that environment. There was even apparently a memo put out not a couple of days ago, I guess a week ago at this point. Certain superstars were told to learn Japanese. Solo Sikoa was apparently the biggest name on that list. So WWE might be looking to send people abroad. They may be looking to send them to Japan. They may be looking to send them to Mexico. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Because, look at how Omos has done in Japan. He went over there and he was entirely fucking different than he ever was in WWE. And if we get that Omos in WWE, he's going to be a problem for people because now he's a fucking giant that can actually kick ass. So some people just do better in different environments.
First issue with that one, I would just like Omos back, please, because unfortunately he did not appear in the ladder match that happened later on.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it probably would have been a lot easier if he didn't have to climb up all those rungs, but,
Right? He could have just jumped. Whatever.
Yeah. But, yeah, definitely people that do better in certain environments than others. And I think, somebody who got an opportunity to move a little bit once again, and he even went as far as making a TikTok about it, a fatal four-way for the NXT North American champion. Your champion, Ethan Page, defeating Javon Evans, Laredo Kid, and Ray Phoenix. Ray Phoenix, they said, they were like, hey, he's a WWE guy now, but he has all of this AAA experience. So he was kind of like a AAA guy in this match. Laredo Kid, honestly, was fucking great. That dude can fucking move. He needs to be on NXT immediately. And then Ethan Page went to the top rope for the first time since fucking AEW.
Did it in flying colors. I think, unfortunately, I think we were all sort of in agreement that this one was the predictable match, and it did kind of go the way that we thought it was going to. However, I do think it was definitely one of the most enjoyable matches from the weekend still. Exactly.
Oh, yeah, it was insane. It was so quick, too. Especially being a fatal four-way. I mean, it's always one of those where it's like, as soon as someone's out, somebody else is in. And this was no exception. It was extremely, extremely fast.
And Javon Evans, that boy do be bouncy. Good.
That boy do be bouncy. Holy shit. Extremely he jumped over the fucking announce table. He flew. Yeah. It was insane. Every time he gets in the ring, I'm like, dude, what the fuck, man? How do you do this shit?
12 feet in the air for a cutter.
Yeah. Speaking of how do you do this shit, there were some crazy moves in the singles match for the AAA Mega Championship. El Hijo del Vikingo defeating Chad Gable. I kind of wanted Chad Gable to win and have a run.
Real quick, before you get into it, my favorite thing was, wow, I can't believe they really made them tone down that match so that Chad Gable could have a better, because he had a ladder match later in the evening. I was like, what do you mean fucking tone down?
And they didn't have him tone down shit.
He took 6:30 straight to the back outside the ring. What do you mean tone down?
I mean, there were the amount of times during this match where I'd just stop and I'd go, what the fuck is doing now? And then he'd do something that El Hijo del Vikingo would do something that I've never seen. And I'm like, how did you, what? You can move like that? You could do a twisting 450 from the fucking second rope? You cleared the top rope and fucking turned and then did a flip. Like, dog, what? I see why they're their fucking
leg
champ.
Surgery and came back and is doing this shit.
That's crazy. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
That's absolutely absurd. Also, yes, tone down. What in God's name about this was toned down? It feels like they were moving a mile a second. I'm not even going to say a mile a minute the entire match. I understand, people had things to do. It sucks that he wasn't involved in the Money in the Bank ladder match, but they still needed him there at the arena to just sort of be, it's a part of your job description. You got to do what your boss says. You got
to coach El Grande Americano, right? Yeah.
Of course. But dog, I knew. I mean, I shouldn't even say just me. We all knew Vikingo could go. From all the stuff he did in AEW, similar to the work with, like, my mind always goes to the one Kenny Omega match where he did a 580 senton bouncing off of the top rope on top of him. Vikingo can move. I would absolutely adore to see him on the main roster. I don't know if it's going to be soon. However, I still think that this was an amazing showcase for Chad Gable, kind of showing WWE, hey, dude, Chad Gable can go. He can move. This dude could have had a title a long ass time ago because he can hang with motherfuckers like this one and deliver. But we'll see. We'll see where Chad Gable goes from here. It's again, it is what it is that he's not in these main event matches, but nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, I mean, they were showing so many ads during this for AAA Mania that part of me was like, do they have Chad Gable win and defend it at AAA Mania? Because that would be like in August. That would only be a couple of months. Obviously not how that worked out. They went with El Hijo del Vikingo, who was the more predictable of the two options. Makes total sense. But that would have been extremely funny. That match, again, went to the predictable guy, El Hijo del Vikingo. But the women's Money in the Bank ladder match had a little bit of an unpredictable winner. Because finally, after 5 years of entering the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, Naomi finally won. So I guess proceed with caution, because she's going to have that briefcase and probably hit a bunch of people over the head with it. Probably Jade Cargill, number one.
I think you're probably right on that.
I love this pick. I absolutely adore this pick for a Money in the Bank winner. Yeah. I think this is a perfect thing to add another woman to a main event scene that's kind of been a little stagnant as of late. I think we can all agree on that one. The one thing that I'm nervous about, and they said it a lot during the show, was if you win the women's Money in the Bank contract, it's essentially a guarantee because it's still at 100%. I don't want Naomi to try to cash in on whoever. I'm not worried about that. Naomi goes to try to cash in, and Jade Cargill is the one that screws her out of winning the title. I'm a little worried about that one because similar to what Mike said last week, the Money in the Bank briefcase should be a damn near guaranteed title win every single time someone has it. And with the way that they've kind of separated her and Jade Cargill at the moment, it seems a little too like, oops, oh, here she is again, surprise! Oh, no more title for you. Goodbye, God bless, for me. So I'm happy with it. Everybody looked great. The Devil's Kiss on top of the ladder to Rhea was probably my favorite spot of the night.
I'm glad that they raised that up so that way it was easy. Thanks.
Well, between that was a fantastic move, and then Roxanne doing the moonsault onto the ladder on Rhea. Rhea was definitely the spot magnet that night. Good
Rhea
for her.
got buried under a bunch of ladders like fucking John Cena during the I Quit match. What the fuck?
You knew Rhea wasn't going to win with the way they were treating her, and it just made it so much more enjoyable because she was acting her ass off. She was taking every move, and it was just like it made everybody look so much better.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, we sat here last week talking about how they were going to do Mommy in the Bank because, of course, they're going to put Mommy in the Bank everywhere. Thank God they didn't. And, you know, like, I think legitimately this is one of those where, like, any of these women could have won this match. Everybody just assumed it was going to be Rhea because she's Rhea Ripley, but they went with just somebody else. They switched it up, and she didn't look any weak during this match. They fucking teamed up on her every opportunity they got. And it's like, yeah, this is how you should be booking Rhea Ripley, where if she's going to lose, it's taking 4 or 5 women to take her out. But they're still taking her out, and they're, you know, it's not taking away from the match at all. I led to some really, really funny opportunities. It's like, this was apparently Rhea's first ladder match. So I think she was probably just coming in with a whole bunch of ideas. And I like to think that a lot of those were probably Rhea Ripley's idea. Of being buried under a bunch of ladders or having the ladder closed on you probably was definitely Rhea. Just finding ways to lay down, I guess. But then we talked about it earlier, we had a match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Dominic Mysterio was at Worlds Collide. So Rey Mysterio, here's the setup. Rey Mysterio, you know, the Lucha legend, came out to the beginning of Worlds Collide. Everybody cheered him, and he said, hey, thank you. And then they started doing their first match. And during that match, there was basically just a lot of trash talk between Dominic Mysterio and everybody else because he's Dominic. And Rey Mysterio was there, so he has to ruin Rey Mysterio's day. So that's literally the only reason why Dom was there. Octagon Jr., who in AAA Legend is kind of like Brothers of Destruction with Pentagon Jr., which is Penta. So they're not going to touch on that at all, I feel like. It's Penta and Pentagon Jr., like technically the same person, but vastly different characters. Basically, Octagon Jr. just loves Rey Mysterio because what luchador doesn't love Rey Mysterio? Dominic Mysterio got in his face and challenged Octagon Jr. to a Intercontinental Championship match. Normally, it's the challenger challenging the champion, but hey, I'll take it, I guess, because Dominic Mysterio was able to back his mouth up and he beat the shit out of Octagon Jr. But Octagon Jr., fucking, that dude can fucking move. I've never seen so many fucking tornado twirly things. He was fucking spinning, dog. He looked cool as shit.
Well, and this is one of those matches when it got done, I was like, all right, now run it back and give him like 30 minutes.
Yeah, because this was, would you two like to guess how quick this match was? Because I have the time.
7 minutes, 45 seconds.
Ooh.
I'm gonna undercut it. I'm gonna say it was a little shorter. I'm gonna say 7:15.
4 minutes and 55 seconds.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Now that's not including the entrances. Okay, so that's in ring time, bell to bell. But that was insanely. But hey, Octagon Jr., one of 2 people to have a championship match during Money in the Bank Worlds Collide weekend, you know, one of 2 AAA stars to have a championship match, and the only AAA star to have a championship match at Money in the Bank. So this is a very, very cool opportunity for Octagon Jr., and I think shows kind of where WWE wants to place AAA. You know, like you're going to have some guys that are El Hijo del Vikingo that can take, you know, Chad Gable to the limit, but then you're also going to have some guys that are Octagon Jr., where, you know, they're still shown as a challenge, but Dominic Mysterio can still beat them in 5 minutes. You know what I mean? But I mean, hey, I don't know if they were trying to fill something or what. I'm glad that they added it because the kind of Money in the Bank card felt a little bland. So this one, it was at least something interesting, and it was like, okay, I want to see that. I'm cool with that, you know?
I would be more cool if it was fucking Mr. Iguana, but no.
Yeah, no, not Mr. Iguana. That would be they're saving him for WrestleMania for sure.
Thank God.
Mr.
when they go
Iguana's
back
gonna
to
take
Vegas.
17 off of John Cena. That's what
I bet he's going to be at SummerSlam and he's going to be wearing a little iguana speedo.
I fucking
and the
hope.
iguana's going
I
to be
hope
wearing an
so.
iguana speedo.
I'm gonna be
Well,
at SummerSlam, so I hope he's at SummerSlam.
Do you know what the J in Jersey stands for?
What would that be?
Iguana.
Oh, that's nice.
I thought it stood for jerk off, but all right.
Oh well, hey.
I'm from New Jersey. I can say it.
You can. Indeed, you can. Short match. I want to see more. I think today Dom went to I think he went to Eddie's grave and he posted a picture of the
he
title
put
on
the Intercontinental
Eddie's.
title on it. Yeah.
God bless, man. Hey, he's that's the habits and behaviors of your greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time and your greatest Mysterio of all time.
Dom's the Gmot, the greatest Mysterio of all time.
Is he doing anything tonight, or is it just the
He's just
Jay
around.
Gunston? He's just there.
He's
That's
there.
fair.
He's always
He's
on
there.
Raw. He's backstage doing
He's hanging out
something.
doing
I don't know.
things.
He's got to
He's a little
find something
guy.
to do during Raw. The fucking Carlito took the PS5. He's got to find something to do. Can't just be eating Roxanne's nuggies all the time with Liv Morgan hanging around.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I could.
Well, when you
What?
word it like
That's
that,
what-
Mike.
That's the external thought. Oops. Sorry. Anyways.
Anyways, the next match on the card here, we had for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. It was a last chance match. So had Becky Lynch lost, she would never be able to challenge for the title again as long as Valkyria was the champion. However, Lyra Valkyria lost, meaning Becky Lynch is your new Women's Intercontinental Champion, and Lyra Valkyria had to raise Becky Lynch's hand and acknowledge her as the better woman, which she did begrudgingly, but she did do it. So I guess mega babyface Lyra Valkyria incoming.
Hasn't she always been a babyface?
Well,
Yeah, but now like mega babyface. Now because now people realize she's hot. So people are like, "Oh fuck, we want more. We want more Lyra."
We
Oh
almost
shit,
saw her
she wears
cock
short
fall off
shorts.
for the 47th time.
She needs more than, I don't know if it's just Velcro or what, but that happens way too often. She needs to switch that shit up. Dog, there's kids watching this.
Is this just to get Bailey back to have them face each other for the Intercontinental title?
That's what I think. Evolution.
Bailey
right
at
around the
Evolution 2.
corner.
Becky Bailey at
Oh,
Evolution 2.
It's
Yeah.
right there.
She better have just some absolute fucking banger matches on Raw, calling out every woman in the back until that happens at Evolution. Otherwise, this is a complete fucking waste of time, and I hate it.
Which is
I'll get ready to waste some time.
Another 3 weeks, 4 weeks till Evolution.
Evolution 2.
Beginning of July.
Hold on.
Electric Boogaloo.
If I type in Evolution 2, it immediately goes to Jurassic Evolution 2.
Oh, nice. Oh, hell
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
dude.
I'm sorry. It's not Evolution 2. It's Evolution 2025.
Oh,
Guess it's
fuck
annual.
off.
It will be on July 13th, 2025.
Oh, so we got about a month. So yeah, they
Got about a month.
got time to build.
Got time to
shit.
build.
Because
Because Nikki Bella
Blood Money's
needs
gonna be
time on
first.
TV before. Oh yeah, I guess Blood Money.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course, yeah, now Nikki Bella shows up after the Rumble when everybody thought she was going to be back full time. She shows up right before the all women's card. Crazy how that works out.
Yeah,
Can't
no,
wait
that was about 5 minutes of why is Nikki Bella back? Oh right, they are doing Evolution too. Yeah, that's why she's back. Okay. But I mean, hey, this was a to bring it back to the Intercontinental Championship match. This was
Yes.
This was some great wrestling, and I think an important character moment for both people, because Becky obviously gets a title out of this. She gets to have a entire run, and we're probably gonna at least be in for a summer of Becky. I imagine she's gonna retain through Evolution, because that's only a month. That seems like a short time to have the Intercontinental title on Becky Lynch. She could lose it at a SummerSlam. You know what I mean? So we're definitely gonna get some good work out of Becky from this. We get her every week. She's always amazing. And then Lyra actually gets an opportunity to show that she could be the bigger person. And I think that is important when you're trying to build these babyface characters of they need to struggle. They need the hard times. And her hard times is being forced to raise Becky Lynch's hand, right? Like, be publicly embarrassed. I guarantee the next time she's on TV, people are going to be loud as hell for Lyra. And they should be. She's great. We've known this since she's been in NXT. But it's finally the time where people are starting to put eyes on her.
I don't have many issues with anything you just said. In fact, I thoroughly enjoyed the Becky Lyra match a lot more than I actually thought I was going to. My standards were very low and they surpassed them with flying colors. My one issue with this is that it happened at fucking Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
You took 3 PLEs to get here, the usual stereotypical fucking my GM booking mode fashion to get to this point. Guess a good way to get a new women's mid-card title over a lot quicker than what you're doing now. Oh, I don't fucking know. Maybe by putting it on the grandest stage of them all, where the first match with these two could have been Rumble. Second match where they had the blow off and she gets attacked afterwards. I don't know. Maybe Elimination Chamber. And then this one, Becky wins it on the biggest stage. A lot of eyes are on that title and on Becky Lynch. Wow, what a coincidence. People want to see Lyra get her get back. And they'll be even more excited when she wins it, making that title fucking mean something. Because right now, that one's doing a hell of a lot better than the cosplay chick holding the United States title at the moment. Zelina, I love you, but boy, oh boy, you've taken more photo shoots with that fucking thing than you've actually defended it at this point.
I would even go as far to say that the Intercontinental title, much like our opinion on the men's Intercontinental title, should be defended on Raw, right?
Yep.
This could have been a Raw main event. You could have spent the entire 2.5, 3 hours of Raw building up to this. Maybe even overrun a little bit to make it seem even more important because you're on Netflix and you can do it, even though they only want to cut it to 2.5 hours. You can still go to 3. You could go fucking 12 hours on Netflix if you want. No one's there to fucking back you up in the end. You can go as long as you want. They could have taken this and they could have made it feel really important on Raw. And if this was happening on Raw, we would have been sitting here one of these weeks going, did you guys fucking see the main event of Raw last night? Fucking Lyra Valkyria lost. We had a title change. And it was a big moment for both these characters because the outcome still would have been the same. You still could have done a fucking last chance eliminator bullshit, whatever you want to call it. This totally could have happened anywhere else. I agree. It did not have to happen on Money in the Bank. I think if you want to do the shit of your main titles only getting defended on PLEs, then your Intercontinental titles and your US titles should be getting defended every other week, if not weekly, on your fucking TV.
Well, who knows? You were going to say something, Mike. My rude, pasty, chunky white ass cut you off again.
What else is new?
No, I agree. You know, it could have been, you know, Lyra calling somebody out at WrestleMania, and then, oh, there's Becky, something like that, and that's where you kick everything off. Who knows? But, I mean, obviously, this is just them continuing the storyline so that they can finalize it at Evolution 2025, and that way they can go, look, we're using a belt on our all-women's pay-per-view because we care. Which Triple H finally has to say now.
A women's mid-card championship on an all-women's pay-per-view? Oh my god. The future.
Somehow, some way, he will still figure out how to make that entire card only about 4 or 5 matches still.
Somehow Rhea Ripley will work 3 matches in it. Yep.
Oh, my god, real quick. All right, so since we're on the podcast, I also want to bring this up too. I didn't think it was ever going to be a thing. People I know in my life posted photos about going to the Real American Beer release party.
Oh my god.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Why, in the wide world of fucking sports, would you ever willingly post photos about going to a racist, homophobe's fucking party? Like, fuck that dude, fuck his dumb beer, fuck everything about him. Why would you? No, just, I'm so fucking tired of seeing Hulk Hogan's cracked out old man ass just being around places, and it's not even going to be a good beer. It's going to be something cheap that probably tastes like disappointment and old man pubes.
Stone Cold's beer is pretty good. I had his beer the other week. Pretty good.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's to be expected. It's Stone Cold.
Exactly.
I would also like to add in, I'm sick of seeing the old fucking fent-folding, allegedly Jimmy Hart standing next to him, too, trying to get a fucking paycheck out of him. I'm really... Hey, Hulkster! Oh, my God! Oh, okay, yeah, I gotta go everywhere where you go, brother! Yeah, come on, we're going this way! Fuck off. Just fuck all the way off, please.
Can somebody please draw a picture of Hulk Hogan and Jimmy Hart just folding on the Raw stage, please? Just bent over, fucking
Soup, get on it. Soup, please. My God, dude. I am so tired of it.
That's how you know I've been drinking. Oh, man.
That's a whole nother episode to talk about, though. That's a whole nother podcast.
We'll talk about fent folds next week. Speaking of fent folding, there was a lot. Well, nice. I guess not fent folding, but there were some folding done in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. We saw Seth Rollins backed by Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. We saw Andrade. He was out there by himself. Grande Americano had a sponsored ladder. No. He put a fucking steel plate in his head. LA Knight lost, which was surprising. Penta was there, and Solo Sikoa got kicked in the face by Jacob Fatu. But hey, Seth Rollins is your men's Money in the Bank. Spoilers. We're talking. This is the whole point of the podcast. This is Seth Rollins is your men's Money in the Bank briefcase holder, sponsored by Cash App. I fucking hate that they put a fucking ad on the goddamn Money in the Bank briefcase.
And Fireball on a fucking ladder.
On the ladder, suck a dick, Fireball on the fucking ladder.
Slim Jim on the fucking tables. Listen,
Jesus Christ.
Seth Rollins did not need this at all. At all. I understand you're trying to be like, oh, look at how dangerous he is in this new trio. Look, he can control everything. He didn't fucking need this, okay? He's Seth Rollins. He didn't fucking need this. Andrade felt like a fucking waste of an opportunity. It literally could have been, especially when CM Punk and AJ Styles were omitted from this match. They totally should have had that spot. Andrade literally just came out of catering, I think, for the first time in half a year. Grande Americano should have been Chad Gable. LA Knight should have won. Okay. LA Knight is probably the only person on this entire fucking match that people actually know, because we talked about Dandy Dragons earlier being a friend of Mr. Iguana. Dandy Dragons also only knows LA Knight out of this list of people, where I'm running down the list of people and I'm going, Dandy, I need your opinion on this. And we're running down the list, and she goes, oh yeah, LA Knight, the yeah guy. The yeah guy. So he definitely should have won, but why would you have him win? It's only his third year in a fucking Money in the Bank. Why the fuck would he win?
Well, but you said earlier, and this is kind of the point, who just took 5 years, 5 Money in the Banks to finally get a fucking...
Yeah, but her 5 Money in the Banks were not under Triple H. They were a different person booking That's those true. Money in the Banks. And yet Penta and Solo, fucking Solo was only there for the Jacob Fatu spot. Should have just been Jacob in that match, legitimately. And Penta fucking killing everybody, and the Iron Man that won't stay down, but I guess WWE doesn't care enough to make him. So I like this match. I thought it was good, but I think Seth Rollins was a fucking dumbass decision of who should be winning.
Well, it's probably to just use for Roman Reigns coming back, you know?
Yeah, try and right.
Cash in, Roman Reigns will come out, interrupt it. Something stupid like that.
Jey Uso has a match against Gunther this week. I'm sure Seth Rollins will tease cashing in at the end.
I think he's going to. I think he's actually going to.
Because Gunther will threaten him and tell him, if you cash in, I will break you right here, right now.
Something and then Braun Breaker's going to run out from the stage and spear him. And then Ludwig Kaiser will come back and Gunther. So then Bronson Reed and Ludwig are going to fight it out. And then the cash-in spoiled. There you go. There's the end of Raw tonight.
Oh, my turn now. God damn it. You said that Seth wins, Seth is a waste, Seth is going to cash in tonight. If all of those 3 facts are true, I have been talking about this with another wrestling friend of mine. I see this as Seth winning is another fail-safe, is a safety blanket, because in my opinion, the shine has definitely wore off the Yeet Man. The Yeet Man didn't even make it fucking till goddamn July with the fucking title around his waist. And the one caveat with all this is, did you hear how many times they mentioned, oh, this is like Jey Uso's 14th match in the span of 48 hours. He is so tired. He's really going through hell right now. This is like match number 46 for Jey Uso in the span of 12 hours right now. He's really going through it at the moment. And now he's getting Gunther again tonight. So I can see it in my eyes right now. It's Jey, Gunther. Jey barely ekes out a win. Gunther attacks Jey after the match. Because guess what? There's still a big old bald Jewish man lurking around the corners because SummerSlam's right around the corner.
I'm sorry, I'll leave.
Comes out. Not you.
Oh. I'm sorry, you said big bald Jewish man. I fit the description of that.
Gunther starts attacking Jey after the match. Goldberg takes out Gunther, sets up their SummerSlam. Jey's defeated in the ring. Fucking mess. Seth comes out, tries to cash in. This is where you lose me. I don't know if Roman. I don't know. That we'll see. We'll see in about 3 hours, 3.5.
If Goldberg comes out tonight, I decorate my walls
with Christmas decorations.
That sounds very productive. I really hope that happens for you.
So the other thing that I'm talking about, you're saying Andrade's a waste. I want to go a step further in saying Andrade's a waste of a fucking contract because you're gonna try to cut it in WWE. Congrats, you can do an amazing match. You can do a phenomenal match. They let you go because you can't cut a goddamn promo, kid. Crazy how that works.
Yeah, but you can work a ladder match, dog.
You can do some amazing spots. You can do some amazing work. I will never take that away from any wrestler when I'm just a fat fuck white dude sitting on my ass talking about their wrestling skills and not mine. I have the wherewithal to Jewish say man. That. You couldn't cut it in WWE. You go to AEW. You fucking took your ball and ran from AEW, so now you're coming back here. You had one spot at the Royal Rumble 2 years ago. You had a Mania match where you were fucking fourth or fifth fiddle to goddamn Rey Mysterio and NFL players in Philly, and you haven't done jack shit since, dude. I am so sick of people trying to make Andrade a thing. Andrade is never going to happen. El Grande Americano, joke character that should never be in the fucking main event scene because you should just give it to Omos or whoever the guy is that's wearing the mask. We don't know at this point.
It could be Otis.
Could be Otis. Solo Sikoa is now being relegated to the fucking goofy haha guy, albeit it worked a little bit better than I had anticipated.
Yeah, actually kind of entertaining.
Yeah. It's very when he is.
Yeah, he actually does have a personality.
When you let people have personalities, Mike, I think you said this about Tama Tonga. Like Tama Tonga in New Japan, very fucking entertaining. We're starting to do the yeah shit. When you let your wrestlers be themselves, it fucking works. Solo Sikoa like this, it works. Did you really need to be here? No, I have wholeheartedly agreed. Jacob Fatu should have been it. Penta. Here's your Penta rub. He was just nice to have there. LA Knight. Oh, this is where it's tricky. Because, gentlemen, do you remember what Triple H said after Money in the Bank 3 years ago when Priest won it in London?
Probably something about being the largest gate.
That he'll be fine.
Good things come to those who wait.
Yeah.
And that was Money in the Bank 2022, and it has now just been Money in the Bank 2025. So I don't know if that means that he is going to get involved with Seth, because him and Seth had a very intense close to that match. I would not be upset if it's a summer of LA Knight taking on the Naughty Naughty Boys. I will be very happy with that. Because right now, I don't know if Roman Reigns is too happy to be coming back since they're going to try to renegotiate him down off of $15 million. I don't know if
it's because TKO was $3 billion in debt or whatever.
And we think that's because of UFC.
Oh, we don't think. We know. UFC has been in the red for years. And WWE keeps talking about how they're having their largest gates of all time. Yeah, that's UFC debt right there, 100%. Yeah, UFC does not make good money.
So UFC has been operating at a loss for a minute now.
Yeah. Well, because UFC doesn't make any pay-per-view sales, because people just go to the bars and like fucking Buffalo Wild Wings and shit to watch it.
Oh, that's true.
When was the last time you bought a UFC pay-per-view versus you're out at the bar or something and you're like, oh, UFC's on, I guess I'll watch it.
Yeah, you go. No one has actually sat down and said, bro, let's buy UFC 422.
Hey, come over tonight. We'll watch UFC 342. Come on over.
If you said that to me, I would take you to the hospital.
We'll stay up until 5 a.m. to watch the main card.
No, I go up to Mike. I say, hey, Mike, you want to go to Dave & Buster's? I think UFC might be on at the same time, too.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, let's go play games and I guess listen to that in the background. You're right.
Perfect. Awesome work.
We'll watch the one fight that's worth watching. Yeah, UFC's never made money.
So they have to start digging this stuff out of a hole. And I think renegotiating Roman down from 15 mil is a good start because contrary to the internet wrestling community on Twitter, I do think that Roman should get talked down from 15 mil because all of these rumblings of him being done and going to a less physical form of entertainment because, leukemia, it never goes away. His body really can't keep up doing this shit. So.
No, yeah. I mean, that's why he couldn't work full time. It's because he was, in fucking remission. And it's like, yeah, that makes sense, dog. Yeah. You fucking beat cancer. I think you get to set your own fucking work schedule.
So is that $15 million a year still? That's not for me to decide.
No, in my opinion, it should have been, hey, Roman, you've lost your title and your 1,500-day reign. Goodbye. Go work in Hollywood now.
God bless.
Good. What more can he do at that point? What? Not much.
Again, I get him still being around. He's still Roman Reigns at the end of the day. He is still, his switch from being a good guy nobody likes to being the bad guy, the leader of the island, all that stuff. Like, it was big. He's still a great bad guy. He doesn't have Paul Heyman anymore, which means he's going to have to constantly talk on the microphone, which is a rough go. But that's probably why they're going to use him very sparingly. And come back, make an impact for whatever storyline, and then ride off into the sunset again. Maybe he has another title run of some sort, but yeah, I think.
Well, I don't think at the very least, I don't think Roman Reigns comes back until the title is off of Cena, because
fair.
You don't.
Very fair.
I don't know that WWE necessarily wants to do that. I don't know if you want to. Like if Roman Reigns takes the title off of John Cena, people are gonna hate that. So
I already do.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where it's like if he's back, he's just going to be kind of in limbo for a year because everybody knows that no one's winning it until they take it off of John Cena, right? Like, which I guess, hey, we can talk about that because the next match on the card here was a tag team match. John Cena was a part of it. John Cena teamed up with Logan Paul going up against Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. Now listen.
Here we go.
I'm not going to bring up. I'm going to be the bigger man here, okay? I'm not going to bring up why Logan Paul isn't allowed in Japan. I'm not going to bring up. I'm not going to bring up all of his failed business ventures. I'm not going to bring up his pending lawsuit in the EU because Prime is addictive to children and harmful. I'm not going to bring up the crypto scams. I'm not going to bring up the fact that he's mediocre at basically everything that he does. Can we please stop sucking off Logan Paul for putting his hand out and having a drone pilot land in it? It's not fucking groundbreaking. It's the entire time commentary is like, he's got his drone. He's catching his drone. Oh my God. Dog, I can do that with my fucking drone out in my fucking driveway. It's so fucking stupid. And I get that it's WWE executives that are fucking boomer 60-year-old men that don't even know what the fuck a drone is. But like, it's not like Logan Paul does not need to be getting the spotlight for every single fucking thing that he does. I think they've nailed the presentation of him being an asshole, but that's because he's such an asshole. And it's like, like we want to talk about wasted spots in the Money in the Bank match. Is the point of this to set up Cena versus Logan Paul in Saudi? Was that the entire point of this match? Before they brought back R-Truth? But
yeah, I was gonna say I thought that would have been the case before the close of the goddamn show.
Yeah, and, I do want to bring up, because talk about R-Truth. There's a lot of back and forth about R-Truth coming back and whether or not it was a work, whether or not it was planned, whatever any of it was. I've done some sleuthing. Put on your tinfoil hats, because WWE, Triple H, when he was asked during the press conference, he said, "Are you enjoying the show? It's all a part of the show," which made people immediately go, so this is a fucking work. You didn't actually get rid of R-Truth. Then R-Truth on Twitter is now going by Ron Killings, his real name. WWE Shop is calling him Ron Killings. He's not R-Truth anymore. He's Ron Killings. So he's going by his real name. He said on Instagram, quote, "I'm back because of y'all." And on Twitter said, "We want truth was heard, felt, and understood. Believe me when I say this, I love every one of y'all to death. We made history together." Then today, PW Insider and Fightful did a little bit of digging. PW Insider said R-Truth is back in the WWE after returning at Money in the Bank, and he will be going under the name Ron Killings, which is his real name, moving forward. He requested that. The decision to bring him back to the company happened over the last 72 hours, and Fightful was able to kind of put a little bit more information in that apparently Nick Khan, not Triple H, Nick Khan personally brought R-Truth back. R-Truth this was not a work. He was fucking fired. They did not renew his contract. And because people were so pissed, and because the locker room was so pissed, they brought him back.
That seemed like it was the deciding factor. Like, yeah, we've been pissed at a lot of their decisions, but it was the fact that everybody in the locker room was like, really? You got rid of the guy that brings us happiness. Like, the one guy that brings everybody fucking joy here. The one guy that was just in the main event.
Yeah, the guy
now
that
you're telling us we're all expendable.
Right, yeah, the guy that's been here for years and years and years. The guy that people thought could never go anywhere else, right? He was in NWA, he was in WCW, and he came to WWE, and he's been there since. And he's been dealt some shit cards in WWE and has made the absolute best of it. And, like, if you're a wrestler and you're looking at R-Truth getting let go and then being brought back just because people online were pissed about it, there is no security in WWE right now. No security at all. Like, nobody is safe, because it is evident that they don't care how popular you are. They're so popular that they will hire you back, but they'll fire you in the first place because of money. And they literally are just firing people, just hoping that the outrage isn't going to be as loud as it was. And moving forward, I don't think a lot of people are going to get this treatment either. Like, if Seth Rollins gets fired, I don't think people care how loud they are. I don't think that's not going to happen. And it's crazy saying that Seth Rollins could get fired, but I mean, that's kind of the equivalent of what they did. They took a guy that's a main roster staple and got rid of him. And the fact that he's back and that Nick Khan was the one to negotiate, not Triple H, Nick Khan was the one to negotiate. It was 3 days before Money in the Bank, and he's back under his name, Ron Killings, not R-Truth. The fact that he's back under his name, Ron Killings, shows that he knows that there is no security being back, because it's not Triple H that wanted him back. And I mean, he's going by his real name, Ron Killings. When he goes to AEW, if he goes to AEW, or if he goes to TNA or wherever, he can take that name with him. And that's 100% why he's doing
it. So. I agree. I don't think that it is... I don't think that WWE is going to ever come out and say, hey, we decided to let this 53-year-old man go. The crowd had an absolute uproar and an outrage, and the locker room said what they did, so we're going to just try to backpedal and bring him back. They are never, ever, 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 ever going to outright say that, because if they do, that sets a precedence. All of a sudden, one of your favorite people decides to up and get fired and get let go and get future endeavored, or whatever the fuck you feel like calling it. The R-Truth situation shows you that if all the fans throw a big enough stink, you can get your guy back. So they are going to absolutely tell you that this was part of the plan the whole time.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They're lying right to our face.
However, that does not mean that the entirety of the fan base should be excited about this. Because I love R-Truth. I do. But I could give a fuck less about a 55-year-old man going up against a guy on his retirement tour, not once, but twice in the year of our Lord 2025. I really am having a hard time trying to find a reason to care.
That brings me. Oh,
hold
go
on,
ahead, Mike.
hold on. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I've said it about other people, and I'll say it again. This wasn't for you. It wasn't for us. It wasn't for Joe Schmo on fucking X complaining. It was for that locker room. That's who it was for. Because it went from... That place literally went from, we actually like being here, to nobody's fucking safe. Now, is that still there? Sure. Are there probably wrestlers right now looking to safeguard themselves on the outside? Absolutely, probably. I would. But you're showing, hey, we can acknowledge we fucked up. We're not going to admit it to them, but we know we fucked up. We'll bring them back. No harm, no foul. Right, guys? Right, guys? They're trying to make peace when they already shit the bed. That's what they're trying to do. This isn't for any of us. This is for the people in that locker room that now know their job environment is not a safe one.
So yeah, I'm supposed to sit here and eat the fact that I got to sit through another premium live event with only 4 matches on the card. In John Cena's last year, I got to have another slow-ass Cena match, Cena and R-Truth. Sorry, Ron Killings.
Last match was good?
So I guess, Jackal, we kind of already have your answer, but Mike, I'll ask the question to you because this is one that I had written down. Do you think that since R-Truth, Ron Killings is back and he went after John Cena, I mean, obviously they're setting up a Ron Killings, and in my opinion, one of the reasons probably why they also wanted to use the name Ron Killings, because Ron Killings, not R-Truth, Ron Killings is a former NWA world champion. So this is a man that has won championships. Do you think that he takes number 17 off of John Cena?
Oh God, no.
Because as much as I love that R-Truth is back, I'm excited about that. You're saying it's not for us, it's not for you, it's for me. If it's for the roster, put me on there too, because I like that R-Truth is back. I'm excited about that. I like him. I like that he's back. But I don't want him to take number 17 off of John Cena, because that is an accomplishment, much like the fucking streak going to Brock Lesnar. This is an accomplishment that should go to somebody that needs it, because Brock Lesnar did not need to beat Undertaker's streak. And R-Truth does not need to take number 17 off of John Cena. He can help maybe turn Cena back to a face. Maybe R-Truth is the foil that costs Cena the championship, but he should not be in a championship match against John Cena.
I don't know, man. They need to... I'm happy he's back because it means more entertainment. It means he'll be on our TV making people laugh. Cool. On the other side of that, they need to find somebody to give Cena good matches and not these slow, fucking depressing matches that end kind of just meh. Because, I mean, I guess the one against Cody was alright. It was good enough. But these last few have just been useless. No. This match was fucking terrible. It ended the way you'd think it would, and then R-Truth came back. Okay, great. It's just his retirement tour, and I get his whole shtick of I'm gonna ruin wrestling as I leave. It doesn't mean you have to have shitty matches while you do it.
Yeah, no, you don't have to actually ruin wrestling, John. You
if that's the case, just go away, because Bryan Danielson had a retirement tour and had some of the best matches I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, the difference is incredible. Too many old men on our screen, honestly. I feel like with WWE, like they're getting older and older, which is great, but like a lot of people are getting runs real late now, and it's like, dog, you should have had this when you're fucking prime 10, 15 years ago. Like it's it's just kind of how it is. But we'll also have some Well, actually, I guess he's going over to the AFC, so we won't have as many old men on our screen this year during football. Mr. Ayahuasca himself decided to go over to the Steelers. I guess he's back in Pennsylvania. I'll be on watch for him.
Do you think he decided, or do you think that like a spirit told him to go there?
Oh yeah, definitely. He took way too much DMT, and some DMT alien came out of his fucking TV and told him to go to Pittsburgh or whatever. Yeah, yeah, 100%.
Some guru in the back of a van in the middle of New Delhi in India after he just toked up real quick. Aaron, Pittsburgh is the way to go, my son. He said, "Yes, guru, of course, guru." And in terms for those of us in America, that means the Pittsburgh Steelers were the only team sad and pathetic enough that have a quarterback opening on their roster willing to take Aaron Rodgers and ultimately be another first-round exit in the playoffs this year.
And how much is that bag Aaron Rodgers getting? How much is he getting paid to sit on the bench of the Pittsburgh Steelers? $13.6 million. Holy fuck! I would not have paid above 10 for Aaron Rodgers, and even 10's too nice.
I'd have gave him a handshake and a dollar lottery scratcher.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is going on in Pittsburgh right now? Like, this used to be a team historically that would find a quarterback, they'd stick with it, i.e. Ben Roethlisberger, and ride that quarterback till the wheels fall off.
Oh my God. Aaron, okay, so he has a $13.6 million contract, $10 million guaranteed, and can be worth up to $19.5 million with incentives.
Oh,
holy shit! Why are they pay that for a real quarterback? Why are you paying the fucking senior citizen?
They had Russell Wilson and Justin Fields last season. Justin Fields did fine when he was in, and they said, "Never mind, we're going to go with Russell."
Yeah, little JK.
Both of them. They released both of them for some buttfuck reason, and then sign Aaron Rodgers. I don't get whatever game they're trying to play, unless they're really just going, man, hopefully we can finally be the worst team in the NFL, and then we can get the first pick in the draft. Because what the fuck is Pittsburgh doing?
So, fun fact I just found out. Mike Tomlin, as old as R-Truth, a 53-year-old man. In WWE terms, a dinosaur. In the NFL terms, as a head coach, you are definitely you're not a fossil, but you're definitely over the hill. Like, you are past.
You think he was sundowning?
Well, when it comes to Mike Tomlin, there's a good chance.
But at the same time, there's plenty of older coaches than him. It's the fact that he's been coaching, though, forever.
Years with
and
the
how
same
has that worked out for
organization.
Pittsburgh?
One Super Bowl win 15 years ago, and essentially first round exits every year since then.
Man, I'm glad I live on the east side of Pennsylvania. Jesus.
You asked what Pittsburgh is doing. Sorry, the angry WWE Jackal is going back in the closet real quick, and football Jackal's coming out.
It's 2025. You can come out of the closet. It's okay. We know.
All right, that's fine. Much more sophisticated.
Yeah, especially this month. Happy Pride.
No, not with our Twitter replies. Goodness
no,
gracious.
we fight homophobes. Yeah. That's the 3 or 4 days of fun.
The Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh, text message.
Popular.
Pittsburgh Steelers depth chart for
it's Aaron Rodgers. He's shit talking.
In the alleged QB1 spot, Aaron Rodgers. QB2, alleged racist, good old Mason Rudolph, getting his head cracked by Myles Garrett after he said some fuck shit to him. And QB3, as much as I hate the fucker, although he never beat us, Mike, QB3, Will Howard. I see Will Howard. Will Howard is a less mobile Josh Allen. Because when he does run, he gets cracked by a Michigan linebacker, gets concussed, and then forgets how to play football for the rest of the game.
Fair.
If Will Howard can actually sit there, Will Howard, if I'm Mike Tomlin, Will Howard never takes a snap the whole season. He sits there, he learns as much as he can. I'm not going to say much at all. He learned as much as he can from Aaron Rodgers.
There's theoretically knowledge there.
Theoretically,
through the haze, through all the smoky haze,
ayahuasca retreats.
Yeah,
the fucking brain fog. You have him learn from Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, your 1-year deal, prove it deal, whatever deal. Even if Aaron Rodgers calls it a fucking year after this one, who cares? Will Howard should be your guy going forward because it was shown he's a national championship winning quarterback. He performed extremely well in the playoffs, as much as I will never be happy to admit it, very begrudgingly. Will Howard performed very, very well with elite people around him. And looking at that Pittsburgh offense, they do have the pieces to be not elite, but definitely above average.
Yes.
I think George Pickens kind of getting traded away hurts them more than it helps, but everything else around them is DK Metcalf, a very good running back committee, and one of the better offensive lines in the league. Not the best, but it's not shit either. But this year, it's a very stacked AFC North. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is going to do much help, but one team in the AFC North that is going to definitely take a step back now, as Mike posted into our little group chat here. The one-legged man himself, Nick Chubb, finally getting free from the fucking black hole known as Cleveland, signing with the what's the best word for it? The retirement home, the IR, the emergency room.
Yeah, it feels like a retirement home.
The come here and you'll probably get hurt even more. Houston Texans. Nick Chubb out of the AFC North to the AFC South.
Here's what I don't get about that, all right? And I mean, don't get me wrong. If Nick Chubb can somehow, some way be healthy for a whole season, holy fuck does your running back room improve
so much better.
Because that man was a fucking tank when he's healthy.
Yeah, fucking, what, 2012, 2015?
The thing that confuses me about that is that the Houston Texans already have Joe Mixon, who's a great running back in his own right. And now you're really showing him like, well, we don't want you that much.
Well, you say that, but look at the team that you're a fan of, Mike. I think the Lions are sort of laying the blueprint for some of these other teams that you can have a running back committee and be very, very successful with it. Because now, David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs is the best 1-2 punch in the league.
Yeah, I think Saquon proved that like running backs can win you everything. And now this season, we're just seeing people be like, okay, we can't get Saquon, but we can get two dudes that can be like Saquon. And like, you're like exactly right. Where they're like, fuck, we can run like multiple guys out there. That's cool. We can do this. And if you have multiple guys, you can have a running game that's pretty effective. Like you said, with what the Lions have done. Like, I think there's going to be a lot more running backs moving this offseason. I don't think this is the first or the last.
The problem is Houston still doesn't have a line to protect the running back.
You just got to be fast. You just got to be fast.
Well,
you got to be fast. You got to be small. You got to be strong. You just got to be good. You just got to be better than everybody else.
Unfortunately, I do think C.J. Stroud was one of the most, if not the most, sacked. Well, no, I think Caleb Williams was most. I think C.J. Stroud was number 2 of being sacked the most last season. So they definitely have some shit to work on. But as much as we shit talk, Nick Chubb with one good working ACL, I do say adding that type of running back to your roster does make the Texans, I don't know about significantly better, but definitely much better than what they were to begin with.
They have a weapon to move the ball. They have a way to actually get it.
Yeah.
And that is leaps and bounds above where the Texans have been.
Because Stephon Diggs, if anything, they needed fucking wide receiver help. Stephon Diggs gone. Tank Dell is still recovering from both his completely exploded leg that he got demolished on Christmas Day or whatever. tore his ACL, MCL, blew out his Achilles, all in the same leg. Fucking Nico
And a
Collins.
partridge in a pear tree.
That too.
Yeah.
Nico Collins holding on by a fucking thread. So, they're definitely going to be a run-first team this year. I don't know if that'll do them any good, but also we're talking about them going up against the Jags, the Colts, and the Titans. So I think they're going to be just fine.
Hey, we'll see. Some of those teams have been putting in some work. You never know what's going to happen.
Speaking of not knowing what's going to happen, I think that leads in perfectly to the last thing I want to talk about with you fellas this week, because I think officially we are I believe we're less than 100 days away. Yeah, all right. The less than 100 days away. I want to try to figure out with you two another batch of way too early predictions. It never hurts to get some of these down. We have some NFL way too early predictions already that I've already locked away in a safe spot. But with this one, I want to try to figure out with you two the division winners this year. There are 4 divisions on both the AFC side and the NFC side, with 4 teams in each division, thus getting us to our 32 teams total. I think it's only fair that we start in the NFC side because that's where the both of us are. Mike, Era, who would like to go first?
I can go first if you want.
I'll talk you through it.
I got it pulled up.
All right. We are talking division winners for the 2025 NFL season. And in terms of the playoffs, the Lions rule that they wanted to try to fix about the playoff seeding, I don't believe got passed. So these will be...
No, they ended up getting rid of that anyways. They were like, well, nobody wants it, so we'll just say never mind.
These will be your 1 through 4 seeds in the playoffs on both the NFC side and the AFC side. So up first, Mike, you will pick the order for us. I just ask you start with the NFC.
All right. Just because I'm looking at the NFL site, we will go east, north, south, west.
East, north, south, west.
So for the NFC East, it's going to be a battle between 2 teams, I believe, and that's going to be between Eagles and the Commanders. The Commanders added more weapons for Jaden Daniels. Luckily for the Eagles, their offense is still relatively the same. Their defense is going to be what is the issue for them. Only because I know Era is going to pick the Eagles. I'm going to...
How did you know?
The Commanders. I'm going to pick the Commanders because I still think the Eagles get into the playoffs, but I think that defense doesn't let them lock up the NFC.
In your defense with that pick, Mike, I mean, we already went over it already on a prior episode when we were going over the schedule release, which you can listen to on a previous 3 Counted Out episode. The Eagles have there's not even a need to sugarcoat it. The schedule for the Eagles this year is just fucked. Fucked.
Eagles and Lions are both getting fucked hard this year.
We got to prove yourself schedule.
You got a Super Bowl winner schedule. So I think regression from 14-3 is probably going to happen. And at the end of the day, with the schedule you have, I think it's okay.
NFC North, I think it's going to be the Lions, and I don't think it's going to be close.
Damn, like it.
Packers still have Jordan Love. He's not going to improve any, so
hell yeah,
stay where they are. Vikings don't have it. Well, they have JJ with 1 leg, so there's that. And the Bears are probably still going to get Caleb Williams murdered. So
Holy Bears, amen.
Yep. NFC South, that's got to be the Buccaneers. They have no competition. NFC West, I think it's either going to be the Rams or surprised by the 49ers. I say a surprise because obviously Christian McCaffrey's going to get hurt again, but they do have really good backup running backs, as shown by this year. And as long as Brock Purdy has somebody to throw to, I think okay. But I think it's still going to be the Rams.
Okay, we're gonna nail home with the Rams. So Mike for the NFC, Commies, Lions by a mile, Bucks, Rams. Time to head on over to the AFC. Mike, the winner of the AFC East.
AFC East.
This one, I
Bills.
think we're all gonna be
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, not close. AFC North, I think, again, Ravens, not close. Because I would have put the Bengals in contention, but again, they just keep on giving away their defensive pieces when they didn't have a fucking defense to begin with.
Editor's note from Jackal here. Still also not signed Trey Hendrickson either. Trey Hendrickson still a question mark for the Bengals. If you don't know who that name is, that is the defensive sack leader of last season, played on the Bengals. Still not signed to a contract with the team just yet. It's still up in the air where his home will be. Continue.
AFC South, we have the Texans, Colts, Jags, and Titans. I think as far as divisions go, this one is going to end up surprisingly competitive because the Texans team just seems like it keeps on getting hurt. I think the Colts, if they keep on being led by Anthony Richardson, are going to go nowhere because crybaby quitter. Jacksonville Jaguars are probably going to improve. Titans are probably going to improve, but I think the Texans probably still end up squeaking it out somehow, some way. So we'll put Texans on top.
And the AFC West.
And AFC West is probably going to be the most competitive, but the Chiefs have the rest, so it's the Chiefs.
There we go. All right, Mr. Era, the winner of the NFC East, and why is it the Giants?
You know, I've been drinking, so I'm going to let that one slide because I'm in a good mood. Listen, last year, I said from the beginning, completely baselessly, that we were going to win a Super Bowl, and we did. I'm going to put that back out here again. I'm taking all of my realistic things that I've said over the past few weeks, chuck them out the window. It's all about the birds, baby. Go Birds! We're taking the NFC East by a mile. NFC North. My question is whether or not the Lions can stay healthy. Because
it doesn't matter. They didn't last year.
That's for sure shit then.
Yeah, but how soon can you? How long can you stay healthy? Is the question. You know, like, if it's week 3, not feeling good. That being said, the Bears are the Bears. They suck. The Packers are going to get even worse because I think they just dropped a cornerback.
Yeah,
one
of the best quarterbacks in the league, and they threw him away.
Yeah. So, I think if the Lions can stay healthy long enough, you guys got this by a mile. If you get hurt week 3, then it's going to the Vikings. But I'll say the Lions for now. Close. Hopefully not.
NFC South.
Yeah, NFC South. We got the Buccaneers, the Falcons, the Panthers, and the Saints. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like this is gonna be a crapshoot for mediocrity. So I don't really think it's gonna be. I don't think it. Listen, if you're first, you're still first, but you can be first of a bad group. So I'm not trying to say.
Steelers.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not trying to say that this team is good. But I feel like the Buccaneers have just kind of declined every year that they haven't had Brady. So I'll go with the Falcons. NFC West: Rams, Seahawks, Cardinals, 49ers. God, I really want the Niners to actually do well. They probably won't, but I just feel like the Niners have always been a team that have been talked up, and they've never been able to live up to it.
God, no.
But realistically, probably the Rams.
Rams.
You know, why would they start sucking?
Easy. Understood. Over to the AFC side.
AFC, we got what? East is Bills, Dolphins, Jets, and Patriots.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm not going to say the Jets just out of, out of spite. I won't say the Patriots out of spite either. I have. So that leaves the Bills or the Dolphins.
Oh boy.
Give me the Bills. I hope they keep jumping through tables. I hope they keep jumping through tables. That's awesome. Ravens, Steelers, Bengals, and Browns. I wanted to say that the Steelers could pull something, right? Maybe not first place, but maybe could pull something until they signed Mr. Ayahuasca. So I'm not really feeling the Steelers. The Browns, no. The Bengals, I feel like, have been close. They kind of always fuck up at the end, but they're able to get there. But the Ravens are, Derrick Henry. So I'm gonna go with the Ravens.
Okay.
AFC South, you got the Texans, Colts, Jags, and the Titans. This one, I feel like the Titans shouldn't even be in this conversation. The Jags, Tony Khan should stick to AEW. The Texans, we just talked about, how they may actually have some ability when it comes to their running backs this year, but their O-line always fucking sucks. And the Colts are steadily holding. I feel like the Colts are finally getting like a brand behind them. But they're still the Colts. And like they're like a 70% team, Like it's just how they are. But I do want to see good things happen to the Colts this year. So I'll say the Colts. And then the last one, AFC West, I'm not going to say the Chiefs. I refuse to say the Chiefs. I think this is the year where the NFL refs finally grow a pair and they stand up to Patrick Mahomes. A boy can dream. So then we're going to be left with the Chargers, the Broncos, and the Raiders. The Raiders suck ass.
Ashton Jennings runs for 4,000 yards, and that's their whole offense.
And they'll still finish 4-12.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like the same reason why it's like, well, we were just talking about the Texans, and they have really good running backs now, but also like they still can't block for shit, and it's kind of the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the Chargers are the Broncos.
Well, that's going to be a shootout. That's why it is the most, I think, intense division.
Yeah.
3 really good teams.
Yeah, I feel like Chargers and Broncos, you could fucking flip a coin. And let's see here. It's the Broncos. So give me the Broncos.
Honestly, I would be happy with the Broncos or the Chargers going to the playoffs. Seeing either of those teams win after building themselves up the way they have would be awesome. Now,
seeing any of those teams take the AFC West after the Chiefs have had a fucking stranglehold over it for years would be great.
Before Jackal gives his picks, you guys keep on shitting on the Tennessee Titans, and I get it. They've been bad for a long time. And their defense is still not there. I think they're still going to be pretty bad this season. But they have improved their offense to include Cam Ward, who, what they're saying, now this is just what they're saying, but they're saying that he is better than they even anticipated. He's going to be a star for years to come. They have Tony Pollard as their running back. Fairly solid. He's at least consistent. They have Calvin Ridley, Van Jefferson, Tyler Lockett. They have Treylon Burks.
Mm-hmm.
Solid wide receiver core. A Conquo, I think that's how you say it for tight end.
Conquo.
Bless you.
Yeah, not bad. And they have a decent, not great, but a decent offensive line. That offense, I think, is going to be sneaky and is going to give people problems. I think once you get toward their defense, I mean, they have some pieces. They have Xavier Woods, not the wrestler, sad.
No.
They have Amani Hooker, L'Jarius Sneed. They have Tavondre Sweat. So they have pieces in place. They just don't have the whole thing yet.
And they do have a favorable schedule. They do have a number 1 pick schedule this year, so we'll figure out where the Titans end up. I don't think they're going to be as bad as they were the past year, especially now that Will Levis is going to get fucking publicly executed or whatever they feel like doing to the poor kid who sticks his dick with his mayonnaise in his coffee or whatever, allegedly. I still, you know what? Here we'll start from the top. We'll start from the top.
Mm-hmm.
Jackals way too early divisional winners for the 2025 NFL season, starting with the NFC East, which I feel is going to be won by the Washington Commanders, simply due to the fact that there has not been duplicate winners for the NFC East in, I think, 30 years. There has not been a back-to-back winner.
Break another curse. We're going to break the cover curse. We'll break this curse. We'll go back-to-back, baby.
Here's the wild thing about that Commanders team. They have so many fucking people at wide receiver that they have to figure out who to cut.
That's only
They have so many people that
53.
could be starters and can catch touchdown passes that people are like fighting for careers right now. It's insane.
Very true. It's only a 53-man roster, though, so they got some very important decisions to
Yeah,
make.
you
Good
can't
old
have
Dan
8 wide
Quinn.
receivers.
I
mean,
know,
it's a good problem to have.
That's a
Very
very
true.
good problem to have. Very good problem to have. The NFC North, if you were asking me this a week ago when Frank Ragnow was still playing center, I would feel mucho more confident in saying the Lions would be a divisional winner. However, I have this sinking gut feeling, and I would love to prove myself wrong, 6 months from now when Lions are atop of the division or whatever. But in the now, June 9th, both coordinators gone. Frank Ragnow just retired. And a big old question mark with everything. I think the Lions do take a step back. I don't think we fucking shit the bed to go goddamn 2-15, but I don't think we're the number one seed anymore, which I believe opens up the door to the Packers, Vikings, and here, fuck it, I'll flip a coin between those two. Heads or tails, heads. Hey. All right, I'll have the Packers winning the NFC North this year.
You know what? I'm leaving now. I'm gonna come kick your ass.
No,
Come kick your ass.
Oh, God, I gotta go quick. NFC South.
Can you
I'm
get there
gonna
while the
stick with-
recording's still happening?
I'm gonna stick with
maybe.
my underrated pick this year. I'm very hot on the Panthers. I do think the Panthers squeak out a sneaky divisional win for once in a very, very mediocre NFC South. Saints gonna be the worst team in the fucking in the league this year. NFC West, I'm gonna be the one to step aside and say the Niners here, simply due to the fact that their schedule is piss poor easy. It is
That's
a
fair.
very, 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 very favorable schedule. I think they win the division, and I do think they are first round exits this year.
So
I
whose
think
dick do you have to suck to get a schedule like that?
Well, all you have to do is just have half of your roster explode last season like they had, and basically throw the rest of the way.
Oh, okay. Sounds easy.
And well, they also had to get rid of 90% of their defense to pay Brock Purdy over $100 million, but still.
Do you think he's going to be worth it?
Fuck no. If Brock Purdy has no haters left on this planet, then Jackal Joker has passed away. AFC East, yeah, Bills. It's that's the only one that all three of us are going to be able to agree on. It's Bills by a fucking mile there. AFC North, I'm going to go out on a limb and say the Bengals here, not due to their defense, due to the fact that Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins are going to score 60 points a game because they have to. If they don't, they're going to get their contracts renegotiated and not be the most expensively paid trio in the league anymore. AFC South, oh boy, the south of the south of America right now, not South America, just the south part in America.
Yeah.
Oh, not good for football this year.
No
good.
A lot more to be desired, honestly.
I'm
a lot more competitive in the North.
Fuck it. Give me the Jags. Give me TK. And in the West, I will take Jim Harbaugh. Give me the Chargers. I will go
somewhere.
vastly
Kev
different.
just had a stroke.
Yeah, good. I am so excited for the Chargers to win. Give me Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh is going to be the best NFL coach in the league. And that is a little bit of way too early predictions on this specific episode of the 3 Counting Out to wind things down. I am always happy talking about.
Before we end, I just want to let you know that your scenario that you created for the Lions,
Yes, sir.
if they take that step back,
Yes, sir.
that means they're not winning the Super Bowl.
Well,
if they take that step back and don't win the Super Bowl, all of those players that we have go away. If all those players go away, we go back to being just the Detroit Lions. We're not Dan Campbell's Detroit Lions. We're just the Detroit Lions. Because this is, and every player on that team has pretty much said it, this is the shot. Because next year they have to renegotiate pretty much everybody's fucking contracts. We don't have that kind of fuck you money.
Nope. Nope, not at all. Ragnow stepping away did free up a tiny bit of cash, but not much. I am nervous, to say the very least, and right now my biggest issues are the offensive. Try to shoehorn a rookie guard in at center instead of the much safer pick Graham Glasgow because he has he does play multiple positions, but
Did you know Graham Glasgow is only a 79 on Madden?
That's fair. That's fair. They usually tend to not give offensive linemen much love unless your name is Jason Kelsey or Joe Thomas. So
Trent Richardson, he's a 99.
Of course he is.
99.
So sick of Trent Richardson.
Jeez.
Penny Sewell's a 96.
That's fucked up. All right. Well, now I'm leaving and I'm going to kick someone at EA's ass.
All right, well, I'll pick you up. We can go together.
You're gonna pin somebody at EA?
No, I'm gonna just pin.
I mean, I can.
Is that an EA executive that just walked in the room? How did you get in here? The studio was locked. How did you?
Yeah.
Jackal, sick him, get him, boy, get him. Bite his ankles.
Yeah.
Ask him why he put so many microtransactions and everything.
You're serving them great, but you're ready shit. You prick. And if you enjoyed the things I said, make sure you follow twitch.tv/JackalJoker or youtube.com/JackalJoker.
Hey, he's getting back up.
He's getting back up. You gotta beat him down. And hey, make sure that you tell him that if you like games, you should follow me twitch.tv/RFE1 or youtube.com/RFE1music. I play EA games sometimes. Let me get a shot in there. Let me get a couple
Yeah.
Hey guys, I found this conveniently placed steel chair. I'm going to take a swing too. And guys, remember to like, subscribe, follow. Keep on listening to this podcast. Download it. Make it your bedtime music, you know? All right, let me get in with this chair.
Bedtime music's going to be hitting this chair, hit his skull.
Oh, yeah.
I got him down.
All right, you got it down. I'm going to count it. 1, 2, 3. Ring the bell. And it's nice when one of us doesn't have to get beat up for once.
Son of a bitch.